Nikki Reed, the talented actress known for her unforgettable role in the Twilight series, has always sought to make a difference. But did you know her mission goes beyond her work on screen? Her journey into personal growth took a powerful turn when she met someone truly extraordinary. Imagine coming face to face with one of the most revered spiritual leaders of our time, a person who embodies compassion and wisdom. Yes, Nikki had the chance to meet the Dalai Lama. This meeting was no mere brush with fame, it was a profound, life-altering experience that shifted Nikki's entire worldview and lit a fire within her soul. Nikki Reed's story is just the beginning. Subscribe to learn more about mindfulness, sustainability, and impactful living. The context of the meeting: picture this, it's February 26, 2014. The California Science Center in Los Angeles is buzzing with excitement, with people from all walks of life gathered for an extraordinary event, an opportunity to hear from the Dalai Lama. The atmosphere is electric, filled with hope, curiosity, and a desire to learn. Nikki Reed was among those lucky enough to be there. She was drawn to the event by the promise of wisdom, and she was not disappointed. The topics of the day: compassion, spiritual well-being, and finding inner peace in a chaotic world, were exactly what Nikki needed to hear. Isn't it amazing how life sometimes presents you with what you need at the perfect moment? Before this pivotal encounter, Nikki had already shown a deep interest in humanitarian causes and environmental activism. She was passionate about her love for animals and nature, often lending her voice to support campaigns for animal rights. But like so many of us, Nikki found herself struggling to balance her passions with the demands of her career. The glitz and glamour of Hollywood can be all-consuming, leaving little room for the deeper questions. What is my purpose? How can I contribute meaningfully to this world? Meeting the Dalai Lama provided her with a much-needed compass, a guide to help her navigate the complexities of fame, success, and life's greater mission. Impact of the meeting: the encounter left an indelible mark on Nikki's soul. Have you ever heard words that resonated so deeply within you that they felt like an echo of your own heart? That's what happened to Nikki as she listened to the Dalai Lama speak about compassion, interconnectedness, and the importance of living in harmony with all beings. He spoke about kindness, not just to others, but also to oneself. He spoke of mindfulness, of being truly present in each moment. Nikki absorbed it all, feeling like these teachings were a key that unlocked something deep within her. In Buddhism, the concept of compassion, or karuna, is central. It's the desire to alleviate the suffering of others, not just with words, but with action. And isn't that what we all need more of? Genuine care, not just for those close to us, but for every living being? This broader understanding of compassion profoundly influenced Nikki, helping her see that even the smallest of her actions could have a ripple effect on the world. The Dalai Lama's words helped her recognize that true kindness starts from within. After all, how can we pour from an empty cup? Nikki learned that in order to truly contribute to the world, she had to cultivate love and compassion within herself first. After the meeting, Nikki felt a calling, a deep, almost undeniable urge, to change her lifestyle to reflect these new values. She became even more committed to sustainability, adopting a plant-based diet and embracing a minimalist lifestyle. These weren't just superficial changes, they were acts of love for the planet, a reflection of her belief that every choice we make matters. Isn't it empowering to realize that we can choose to make a positive impact, one small step at a time? A shift in perspective: one of the most transformative changes Nikki experienced after meeting the Dalai Lama was her perspective on fame and success. Before, she often felt the pressure, the constant demands, the need for recognition, the comparison with others. But the Dalai Lama's message struck her to the core: true fulfillment doesn't come from external achievements, it comes from within. What's the value of fame if it doesn't bring you inner peace? Nikki began to shift her focus inward, nurturing her mental and spiritual well-being. She found solace in practices like meditation and yoga, realizing that they helped her stay grounded amid the chaos of Hollywood. Can you imagine the peace that comes from letting go of external pressures and instead focusing on what truly brings you joy and fulfillment? This newfound perspective extended to her relationships as well. Nikki started being more present with her family and friends, understanding that compassion begins with those closest to us. She made a conscious effort to deepen her connections, to be more patient, more loving. Isn't it wonderful how a change in our perspective can bring us closer to those we love? Her transformation also impacted her relationship with her husband, Ian Somerhalder. Together, they became partners not just in love but in activism, working on projects to protect the planet and make the world a better place. Dalai Lama's influence on Nikki Reed's activism. The Dalai Lama has always been a beacon of compassion, peace, and resilience. His teachings on interconnectedness and caring for the planet deeply resonated with Nikki. She embraced the idea that we are all responsible for protecting the earth, and she used her voice to advocate for environmental conservation and animal welfare. How incredible is it to see someone use their influence for the greater good, to be the change they wish to see in the world. Nikki's passion for sustainability became evident in her numerous collaborations with organizations focused on protecting the environment. She launched her own sustainable jewelry line, Buy You With Love, which champions ethical practices and encourages people to make conscious choices. For Nikki, this was not just a business venture, it was a way to inspire others to consider the impact of their consumption. Imagine if we all paused before buying something to ask, where did this come from? What impact does it have on the earth? Furthermore, Nikki's commitment to sustainability extended to her personal life. Together with Ian, they embarked on a journey to create a sustainable lifestyle for their family, growing their own food, using renewable energy, and minimizing waste. Nikki often shares her journey on social media, not to boast but to inspire others. It's not about being perfect, it's about making an effort, every day, to do better. Isn't that what life is all about? Growth, learning, and trying to leave the world a little better than we found it? A lasting transformation. The meeting with the Dalai Lama wasn't just a fleeting moment of inspiration for Nikki, it was a transformative experience that continues to shape her life. Compassion, mindfulness, interconnectedness, these values have become the pillars of everything she does. Whether she's acting, creating sustainable products, or advocating for the environment, Nikki strives to ensure her actions align with her beliefs. She's living proof that it's possible to find purpose beyond fame and success, to use one's platform for the greater good. Nikki Reed's journey is a beautiful reminder that we are all capable of change. We are all capable of living in alignment with our values, of finding fulfillment not in external accolades but in the positive impact we make on the world. Meeting the Dalai Lama helped Nikki see her true mission, a mission that goes far beyond herself, beyond Hollywood, and touches the lives of others, the earth, and all living beings. Isn't that what life is ultimately about? Finding purpose, making a difference, and living with love and compassion? Nikki's story encourages us to ask ourselves, how can we make our lives more meaningful? How can we contribute to the greater good, no matter how small our actions may seem? The journey continues, for Nikki and for all of us. Let's take a page from her book and strive to live each day with compassion, with mindfulness, and with the courage to make a difference, even if it starts with just one small step. The ripple effect of compassion. Let's dive even deeper into what Nikki experienced. Have you ever thought about how a single act of kindness can create a ripple effect that impacts countless lives? Nikki's transformation is a testament to that. The Dalai Lama spoke about compassion, not just as a feeling, but as an active force, a force that moves us to make a tangible difference in the world. This is the message that Nikki took to heart. It wasn't enough to just feel compassion, she wanted to live it, breathe it, and make it the cornerstone of everything she did. Nikki began to realize that every action, no matter how small, could have a profound impact on someone else's life. Whether it was adopting a plant-based diet or creating a sustainable fashion line, she understood that her choices mattered. And isn't that what we all want? To know that what we do makes a difference. The ripple effect of her choices inspired others to reconsider their own habits, to think about the impact they have on the planet. It's incredible how one person's journey can inspire so many others to embark on their own path of transformation. Nikki often talks about the importance of mindfulness, not just as a practice, but as a way of being. She learned from the Dalai Lama that mindfulness is about more than sitting in meditation, it's about being present in every aspect of our lives. It's about truly listening when someone speaks, about savoring each bite of food, about appreciating the beauty around us. This awareness helped Nikki see the interconnectedness of all things. It made her realize that her well-being was tied to the well-being of others, of animals, of the planet itself. Isn't it beautiful to think that we are all part of something greater than ourselves? The challenge of change is never easy, and Nikki's journey was no exception. There were times when she felt overwhelmed by the magnitude of the issues she wanted to address. How do you tackle something as vast as climate change or animal welfare? How do you stay motivated when the problems seem insurmountable? But Nikki learned that it's not about solving everything at once, it's about taking one step at a time. The Dalai Lama's teachings reminded her that every action counts, that even the smallest effort can lead to significant change. Nikki faced challenges not just from the outside world, but also from within. It's easy to get discouraged when you feel like your efforts aren't making a difference. But she learned to be patient, to trust in the process, and to understand that true change takes time. Have you ever felt like giving up because your efforts seemed too small? Nikki's story is a reminder that those small efforts add up. The important thing is to keep going, to keep believing in the power of compassion and kindness. Building a community of change. One of the most inspiring aspects of Nikki's journey is her ability to build a community around her values. She didn't just make changes in her own life, she inspired others to join her. Through her sustainable jewelry line, Buy You With Love, she created a space for people who wanted to make conscious choices. She used her platform to connect with like-minded individuals and to spread the message of sustainability and compassion. Isn't it amazing how one person's passion can ignite a movement? Nikki also collaborated with various environmental and animal rights organizations, lending her voice to causes that needed attention. She understood the power of community, the power of coming together to create change. The Dalai Lama often speaks about the importance of collective action, that real change happens when people unite for a common cause. Nikki embodied this belief, using her influence to bring people together and to amplify the message of compassion. Her partnership with her husband, Ian Somerhalder, is another beautiful example of this community building. Together, they worked on numerous projects aimed at protecting the planet and raising awareness about environmental issues. Their love for each other and for the earth became a powerful force for change. They showed that when two people share a common purpose, their impact can be even greater. Isn't it inspiring to see a couple use their love as a foundation for positive action? The role of spirituality in Nikki's life. Spirituality played a significant role in Nikki's transformation. Meeting the Dalai Lama was a spiritual awakening for her, a moment that opened her eyes to the deeper meaning of life. She began to explore Buddhism more deeply, incorporating its teachings into her daily life. She found solace in the practice of meditation, in the simple act of sitting in stillness and connecting with her inner self. Have you ever taken a moment to just be still, to listen to the quiet voice within? For Nikki, these moments of stillness became a source of strength, a way to reconnect with what truly mattered. The Dalai Lama's teachings on impermanence also had a profound impact on Nikki. He spoke about the fleeting nature of all things, how everything is constantly changing, and how clinging to the past or to material possessions only leads to suffering. This understanding helped Nikki let go of the pressures of fame and success. She realized that true happiness couldn't be found in external achievements, but in the simple joys of life, in the love she shared with her family, in the beauty of nature, in the satisfaction of making a positive impact. Nikki's spirituality wasn't about following a particular religion, it was about finding a deeper connection to herself, to others, and to the world around her. It was about living with intention, about making choices that aligned with her values. Isn't that what we all strive for? To live a life that feels meaningful, that feels true to who we are. Overcoming obstacles and staying true to her path. Nikki's journey was not without its obstacles. The entertainment industry can be a challenging place for anyone trying to live authentically, especially when the focus is often on image and success. Nikki had to navigate these challenges while staying true to her newfound values. There were times when she faced criticism, times when her choices were questioned. But she remained steadfast, drawing strength from the teachings of the Dalai Lama and from her own inner conviction. She learned to embrace vulnerability, to accept that she didn't have all the answers, and that she was still learning. Isn't it liberating to realize that we don't have to be perfect, that it's okay to be a work in progress? Nikki's willingness to share her struggles made her journey even more relatable. She showed that transformation is not a straight path, it's filled with ups and downs, with moments of doubt and moments of clarity. But through it all, she remained committed to her values, to her mission of making a difference. Nikki's legacy of compassion and sustainability. As Nikki continues her journey, she is building a legacy of compassion, sustainability, and conscious living. She wants her work to inspire others, to show that it's possible to live a life that is both fulfilling and meaningful. She wants people to understand that they have the power to make a difference, that their choices matter. Isn't it powerful to think that each of us has the ability to create change, no matter how small? Through her jewelry line, her advocacy work, and her personal lifestyle, Nikki is leaving a mark on the world. She is proving that fame can be used for good, that success is not just about personal achievements but about the impact we have on others. Her story is a reminder that we all have a role to play in creating a better world, that we all have something to contribute. Nikki's journey is far from over. She continues to learn, to grow, to find new ways to live in alignment with her values. She is committed to her mission of compassion and sustainability, and she is determined to use her voice to inspire others. And isn't that the most beautiful kind of journey? One that is not about reaching a destination, but about constantly evolving, constantly striving to be better? Nikki Reed's story is a call to action for all of us. It's a reminder that we are not powerless, that we can make a difference in the world. Whether it's adopting a more sustainable lifestyle, showing compassion to others, or simply being more mindful in our daily lives, we all have the ability to create positive change. The Dalai Lama's teachings inspired Nikki to embark on this journey, and now her journey is inspiring others. So, what can we learn from Nikki's experience? How can we take the lessons she learned and apply them to our own lives? Perhaps it starts with a simple question: what kind of impact do we want to have on the world? What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? Let's take a page from Nikki's book. Let's strive to live with compassion, with mindfulness, and with a commitment to making a difference. Let's remember that our actions, no matter how small, have the power to create ripples that can change the world. And let's never forget that true fulfillment comes not from what we achieve for ourselves, but from what we do for others. Nikki Reed's journey is a beautiful reminder that we are all connected, that our well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others and of the planet. It's a reminder that we have the power to create change, to live a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. So let's take that first step, no matter how small, and let's do it with love, with compassion, and with the belief that we can make a difference.